Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, parents, grandparents, step parents, foster parents. If you are a parent or a guardian raising children, hello. It is Tuesday, time for us to have lunch together. I hope you have your lunch ready to talk, listen, engage, all of that. So, right now, I am Frazelma Lynn, the Parenting911 coach, trying to get myself situated with all these different devices. And normally we meet every Tuesday, 11:30, just to share little tips about parenting. And trust me, all parents, all people raising children at some point need a coach. All people raising children at some point need a coach, someone they can ask questions to, someone that's their go to person that can share resources, that can share strategies, someone who's already been through what they're going through. All right. So, I am here to share strategies with you today. We're going to talk for a minute about discipline because, the new book that's coming out soon, and it is You Need a Butt Whooping. It's all about discipline, though, the proper way to discipline, the proper way to discipline. And it gives you the alternative ways to discipline your children. I asked a question maybe 6 months ago to some parents, young parents, and the question was, what's the one thing you're really struggling with when it comes to parenting? Well, one of them answered, finding alternative ways to discipline. And this book really talks about that, really tells you some alternative revolutionary ways to discipline. Now, on yesterday, I was talking with a young man, and he was looking at, the information about the book. And I told him the book was really about discipline. His response was, discipline, is very diverse, has so many parts to it. So, how can you just choose one part of it to talk about in your book? And I said, well, honestly, you're thinking of the consequences, and most people think that those consequences are actually discipline. Usually we think punishment is discipline, but punishment is punishment. It's what comes after discipline, after a child or person chooses not to do the discipline thing. So I told him that, and he went, "Oh," I said, "So what you're saying to me, young man, you think that the book, you're thinking about discipline as time out, go to your room, you can't play with, go outside and play with your friends, give me your cell phone." You're thinking about all of that. And he was like, "Well, yeah." I said, "But that's honestly not discipline. That's not discipline. Those are consequences that follow." All right. If the child chooses not to do what they've been taught to do. So he said, "Well, okay." I said, "So all parents, regardless of who they are pouring information into their children, training them up." And he said, "Oh, well, don't worry about that because I was adopted and I was almost grown by that time." I said, "That doesn't matter. Somebody trained you. Even if you went from home to home to home, someone at some of those homes trained you. Sometimes what they taught you and poured into your life was good and sometimes not so good, but somebody trained you and poured information in you that's framing you right now as an adult man." He had some things in his hands, so he laid them down on my display table. He said, "Oh, I need to hug you for that." And he walked around the table and gave me a hug. And he said, "You just read my life story. I'm the one who had to be passed from home to home to home to home." Now, I didn't know anything about him. This was my first time meeting him. But I said this to him. I said, so remember, somebody trained you. Somebody in one of those homes helped frame your adult life. Somebody. And he was like, you are so right. He said, you really have a way with words. You make me think about things differently. Exactly. That's what I'm to do as a parenting coach. I'm to help parents see things differently. Sometimes I need to help parents see things from their children's perspective. Sometimes I just need for parents to understand it's not all about what we think. Even if we're grandparents or if we're step parents or whatever that case may be, however you fit. This is another part of discipline. We say that it takes a village to raise the children, right? We say that, but grandparents and extended family members don't want to learn any new strategies. And many times, what they do sabotages what the parent is trying to teach their children. So we all need to get on board. We all need discipline. We all need some self discipline. We all probably need to get that book, You Need a Butt Whooping, because sometimes what we're trying to do is make ourselves look good in the eyes of the child, and it's hurting the child. It's not helping them. It's not going to be something they need to fall back on when they become an adult. We're just trying to make ourselves look good right now. But remember, love is tough. Love calls for sacrifices. Love calls for discipline. And so we have to learn to discipline ourselves. Just because you may not be the biological parent, if you are in that child's life and influencing that child's life in any way, parent, grandparent, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, friends, make sure that you are pouring into them what they're going to need one day as an adult. Childhood. I tell people that as the Parenting 911 coach, I rescue childhoods from abuse, from neglect, from not feeling safe, not having boundaries in the house, not having rules and regulations, from inconsistency in their lives. I rescue childhoods by teaching parents effective parenting skills, because what most of us never really think about, our childhood is going to frame the adulthood. The person you are as an adult, woman or man, something in your childhood helped frame who you are right now. Some part, some place, someone. It helped frame who you are right this minute. Our childhoods frame our adulthoods. That's why parents have to truly take things seriously when they are teaching their children, and everything we do, we teach them. They are like sponges. They are soaking up everything you say, every move you make, every conversation they hear you in, how you act, how you react, how you respond, your emotions, whether in control or out of control, your thought processes, when you want to be by yourself, when you want to be with everybody. They are watching absolutely everything about you. And how you act and react to them, it's going to help frame who they are as adults. So it does take a village. I agree. However, the village, all members in the village have to learn how to work together and be on the same page. They have to learn that just because you're the grandparent, you don't sabotage the rules that the parents are trying to teach, and then you go on home and leave the children in chaos. That's not love. So remember, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not the reward. Discipline is the training and the practice. It's the teaching, the training, and the practice. And until we, as the parents, the adults, take the time to do that, to model that for our children, then yeah, we should expect chaos. But when we take the time to model for our children, I mean, not just one time, but have that to be a part of your life. If you want your children to be respectful, that should be a part of your life. If you want your children to learn how to have confidence in themselves, that should be a part of your life. If you want your children to be trustworthy and honest, that should be a part of your life. And I'll say this and end for these few minutes. I'm talking to a lot more parents of adult children who are struggling with their relationship. They don't know how to make the adjustments, and they don't want to see the relationships fall apart, but that's what's happening. The relationships are starting to unravel. They can't really talk to them. One lady said to me the other day, she said, but he used to be my best friend. Now he's an adult and the relationship is unraveling. And so I told her, yeah, you need to come and talk to me. We need to talk and have a session. I have a program that's just for adults who have adult children so that we can heal and rebuild that relationship. So that's it for me today. Remember, the new book is coming out soon, in a couple of weeks or less. If you have not already signed up to get a free copy of the book, you need to go to www.parenting911.org, and right there on my website on the front, it tells you what you need to do so that I can notify you when the book is published and you can download a free copy. Go to www.parenting911.org. You all have a glorious day. Thank you all so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, same place, same time. Also, remember, we have a membership subscription. You can join that. We teach every Tuesday evening at 5:30. All right? You all have a great, fantastic day filled with good parenting.